This is the type of trading that I want to start doing. This is the type of trading that I think is the most efficient way of trading if you have it correct. Obviously, if you have it wrong, you're gonna have to wait for the next month. All right, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is the first time that you're tuning in, my name is Lewis and I'm just documenting my trading journey. First of all, it feels good to be back. If this is the first time, I just got back from vacation. Maybe that's why I'm a little different color. I think my color might still be here. It might be going away. I don't know. But either way, man, has the first week of November been crazy. All I have to say is go Trump. Trump won, and the market went crazy. All markets went crazy, from stocks to crypto, especially crypto. Bitcoin has been going crazy, and I've been telling people to buy Bitcoin since 26,000. So I'm just happy that we've been doing what we've been doing. It feels amazing to be back. It was a much needed break that I needed, even though I didn't want to do it. It was much needed, and I thank my girl for that, because I honestly do be forgetting that I'm human sometimes, and that's just because I'm very driven and I want to get to where I want to get to, and you know, I'm not there yet, so why stop? Either way, and we're finally back. Traded about 2 days while I was on vacation. It was just some nonsense. I'll explain it if I even can. I made the conscious choice to just enjoy the vacation after those 2 days, and then most of the time I was just there studying. I learned so much, man. I can't even explain it. One thing I will say, analysis and operation or execution are two different things, and those of you who've been trading for long enough know this. I'm going to show you the example I'm talking about, or why I'm even talking about this once we get into the charts. But man, it's just been a crazy week. It's been amazing the amount of development that I've made in terms of just learning. And people think that, you know, they could just study for a month, 2 months, 3 months, up to 6 months and they're done. Like, no, I just reached my 11th month trading my own personal capital. I'm still learning every single day. I was studying earlier today, just because you learn so much more, and I'm trying to become accurate. I'm trying to become as accurate as possible, take less trades throughout the week, go for more of a swing trade approach while still trading on the daily, with one shot, one kill swing trade throughout the week or maybe even the month. And yes, that's possible because I have people who I'm learning from who are doing it, and then trade the intervals of the day throughout that. And man, all I can say is once I master this part of trading, I just feel good, and every loss that I've taken has been amazing. I honestly, I don't want to say it to, you know, jinx myself or anything like that, but losses have been amazing. I've been learning so much just from my losses that it's not even funny, especially now, because like once you understand what I'm starting to understand now, trading does change. I'll explain everything once we get into the analysis and all that. But I got back, and just taking those days off kind of threw me off a little bit, just because of how locked in I was before I even went on vacation. But it has taken a couple days for me to adjust, at least to getting back in my rhythm and in my routine, and I'm finally starting to get back into it. But I do feel myself like I just still need some work in terms of just getting there. Today I just finished hitting the bag, so I feel good. I took a shower. I'm ready to hop into the charts so I can talk about everything that ended up happening this past week. And I'm only gonna talk about this past week, the election week, because it was my first time actually trading the election week, and I'm no longer afraid to trade any news. I thought elections, FOMC, I traded all that. All I have to say is just watch the video. Either way, let's hop into the sponsor of this video and then into the Discord, and then we'll talk about everything, because I have a lot of information that I want to portray to you guys, and I know it's going to be extremely beneficial. All right, now the sponsor of this video and the sponsor of this series, my channel in general, is Techtronix.com. Make sure you guys go out there and support them. Like I said, if you're looking for a PC, make sure you take advantage of their discount code. The discount code is LVFlip, so make sure you take advantage of it. And like I said, they have free shipping on all their products, and they have a 1-year warranty, so make sure you take advantage of that. Use the contact us and even reach out to them with specific parts that you want on your build. Like I said, I think my favorite setup is the Future Setup LV Flip, just because of the price range and the amount of power that the setup itself actually has. But there's a wide range. You guys could go and check that out with the link down in the description. Very organized, very professional, and I know the owner personally, so I know that he is going to deliver. Apart from that, let's hop into the Discord. All right, everybody, this is the Discord. We have a bunch of members that ended up coming in new while I was gone. We're now up to 41 members according to the bot. I'm just extremely grateful. I was a little bit inactive just because I was on vacation, but I was telling people that I wanted to get back to being active. As you can see, I got in a couple trades here, and I sent a couple of my own trades, and some people sent a couple of their own. Some people said that they were sitting on the sidelines just because it was a week that they've never traded and they didn't understand. But as you can see, I don't know where it is, but somewhere in here I said something about how I want to, I think it's this one right here, I want to start talking, and I need you, the viewer, or anybody who's in the iShow Discord, to speak in the chat so that we can stay active, because once one person starts speaking, the rest of the people feel more comfortable talking. Let's get to that. But I came up with this, and it was extremely helpful. Make sure you guys check this part out in the Discord. Apart from that, the link is down in the description. I don't want to talk too much about it. Soon enough, I'm probably going to end up closing it for the people that I have it in here and doing even one-on-one calls with people who want to to learn. So if you want to learn, make sure you guys hit me on the DMs or hit me anywhere. I'll probably end up tutoring a couple people if they want to do that. But apart from that, I'm gonna hop right into the charts because there's a lot that I want to talk about. All right, now we are in the charts, and this is what it ends up looking like. The reason why I have it like this, completely different framework of trading that I have now, but this is what ended up happening on NQ for the month of September, the opening. And man, I missed the one shot one kill because I was forcing my idea onto the charts instead of reacting to the charts themselves. So like I said earlier in the video, analysis is one thing, but executing is a completely different ball game. Now my analysis was extremely correct. I was anticipating the beginning of September to create some type of move down or some type of low to then pull us up into longs all the way up to the all-time highs on NQ. What ended up doing it was, and I'll show you guys right here, this is what ended up happening, man. And I saw it late, I saw it on Tuesday, but this is what I should have been looking for, and man, I missed out on a lot of money. And I'll show you guys as soon as I show you this SMT. But as you guys can see here, these are the October lows, and the October low on S&P 500 ended up being swept, turtle souped, and then buy side liquidity was targeted to the all-time highs and now at new all-time highs. And on NQ we ended up turtle souping this low from Wednesday the 23rd. That was the turtle soup with an SMT, and we had an SMT on Monday as well, which was confirming bullishness. And I wanted us to drop below October's low on NQ before looking for longs. And if you guys hear anything in the background, I'm sorry, there's a lot of people in my house, but I have to get this video recorded because you're my #1 priority. But as you guys know, we turtle souped, and that stopped the momentum down. And also we had an SMT, which ES did not have an SMT at all. ES went down there, cleared that sell side liquidity, and then moved up, leaving relatively equal lows. So I think this might be the start of a original consolidation. Now let's get back. As you guys can see, that is the reason why I missed it. I wanted NQ to come down, sweep those lows at least to get to the equilibrium of this range right here. As you guys can see, we would sweep those lows, get to equilibrium, and maybe touch something over here to then look for longs. But we SMT'd, and that was all that we needed, honestly. And that was enough liquidity for us to get all the way up here, especially with the elections. Let's get into the actual specific days and see what ended up happening. But that was the move. That was the move. And my entry should have been on Monday, and I got home Monday from the cruise, so I wasn't trading in the morning, but the entry ended up happening in around the nighttime. But there was also an amazing entry on Tuesday that could have easily been taken, but I was looking for shorts on Tuesday because I read this wrong. I thought we would come up into this gap and then react off of it and then take out that low, but we just pushed straight through. And now I understand why. It is my fault for not reacting to that SMT. And it was kind of weird because there was an SMT up here as well at the highs, so that kind of got me. But now it's extremely clear we were gonna target that high. Either way, let's get into it. As you can see here on the 1 hour, you guys can see everything, and I'm gonna show you what the trade I should have taken was for the one shot one kill for this week. And I knew all-time highs was the draw on liquidity for this week after my idea of us taking that low was invalidated. So this is the trade that I should have taken on Tuesday. We had an SMT at the 5 o'clock low and the 9 o'clock low, getting in there at any point and having my stop below the SMT low, and then targeting the buy side liquidity from the all-time highs with a 9R. This is the type of trading that I want to start doing. This is the type of trading that I think is the most efficient way of trading if you have it correct. Obviously, if you have it wrong, you're gonna have to wait for the next month or something like that. But all I'm playing off is the PO3, or the power of 3. Like I said, that was buy side liquidity. That's what was targeted, but with 2 contracts. As you can see, risking $491 to make almost $5,000 or $4,500 basically of profit alone with this trade. This is the one shot one kill trade for the week, making almost $4.3 thousand in 1 week off of one trade. How can you go wrong on this? And all that happened to me was that mistake of wanting price to do something instead of reacting to what price is doing. And that is something that I'm working on, and I've been journaling a lot about it. But hey, what can I do? What can I say? And even a trade later on Wednesday was even possible to get up there, but as you can see, it would have been amazing and barely any drawdown. No drawdown after that, especially at that open. Nothing needed no more. But we had the SMT down here with ES coming down and taking out the lows from last week on Thursday and also the lows of October, which should have been the reason for me to get into buys, and then just leaving that one shot one kill run and then looking for something later on in the week. Monday, I didn't trade on Monday just because I was traveling. We were getting home that day and all this nonsense was happening here. I did enter a short around here for on my what was it? It was a demo account. I entered a short here and then ended up coming back up and stopping me out the next day just because I left it running. But that was my idea. I thought maybe we would come up above this high and then drop. No, not even close, or at least this high and then drop. But no, that did not happen. It was the opposite of that, and it's so clear when I look on the higher time frames. That is why I'm strictly on the higher time frames for trade ideas. Now executions will probably be on the lower time frame still, but for ideas, higher time frame always, because higher time frame holds higher power. That was the trade that I was supposed to take that day on Tuesday. As you can see, 9:15 we had an SMT right here. It would have been a pre-market, but once you know what I know now, there's no reason to wait for market open. You already know where price is going to end up going. You take that trade right there, one contract, two contracts, let it run for the rest of the week. Don't even have to worry about it. No drawdown at all, and by the end of the week you end up with a bunch of profit. It's annoying, but it is what it is. Now let's move on to Wednesday. Now Wednesday, I could have left the trade running from Wednesday as well. As you can see here, I already had it marked it up. I was doing a lot of back testing last night, but as you can see here, with two contracts on Wednesday after the trade that I got in, I could have made about 2,000, which wouldn't have been bad at all. After I got a win on Wednesday, this is the extra trade that I ended up taking right here. I was just targeting this buy side liquidity, and once we got in, I got in I believe on the 1 minute if I'm not mistaken, but after the 1 minute and we took out that buy side liquidity, I got out and I was done. But what I should have done was just let it run. It was a classic buy week. We had the low of the week on Monday, and then so Friday, this was the trade that I ended up entering on. It wasn't over here. I entered around here and I was gonna enter down here, but I was looking at the higher time frames and then I was like, what am I doing on the 1 hour when I'm just looking for a move up here? And I entered right away, entered there, and then my TP right above the buy side liquidity and my stop down here. But what I should have noticed was that we created an order block, right? So as you guys can see here, look at the wicks, and obviously knowing the higher time frame is very important, but we had this order block which came down into this 1 hour gap, and it was also a 4 hour gap if I'm not mistaken. We had already come down to balance that, so that was the move, and we had the 1 hour order block there. So price went up, took out that buy side, came all the way back down, took out the position that I would have been in if I would have left it running. But that was the other opportunity to get in, which was right here. We come back down, we swoop that low, hit this buy side of this order block on the 15 minute, which is the same order block of the 1 hour. Respect that, and then price just takes off. That could have been the swing that I left running as well, and man, what do you do? But then we move on to Thursday, we were close to getting to the all-time highs if I'm not mistaken. So Thursday I took another long. I got into one position early and I got stopped out when we came back down here, so I just left it be at that. I hesitated on this long, but I did not hesitate on this one. There was a 5 minute what was it? It was a retracement into the fair value gap, as you guys can see, but we respected that 5 minute fair value gap, and then I let it run all the way up to this buy side liquidity and a little more, and then once we got up to it, I just got out. Like I said, I misplayed this whole month, and this is just experience. I honestly not mad. I can't be mad. I'm learning a lot, and this right here was Friday, and it shows a lot of what ended up happening Friday, but I also misread Friday. Now if you guys can see here, there was an SMT, but it wasn't a real SMT because they were different quarters. Now if you know what I'm talking about, for those of you who know what this is, if the SMT was this high was here and we SMT'd and this high under this quarter, the second quarter, then that would have been a real SMT, and we would have SMT in the second quarter, then that would have been the real SMT. But as you guys can see, this was not a valid SMT. I thought it was because ES wasn't even close to that high, and then we started to move lower, and then obviously had this buy side liquidity coming into market open, so that's why I had this idea, right? So we took liquidity, had an SMT, we dropped lower into this 4 hour gap, but I thought we would just keep come up and then run that 4-hour gap, come into OTE. It was a valid idea. Come into OTE, and then we had a 30-minute gap. Respect the 30-minute gap and then drop lower into this 4-hour gap. That was wrong. That was completely wrong, and I saw it after. And I also have this issue, and I think everybody has this issue, is when you figure out that your idea is wrong, but you're already in the idea and you have fear, or you just don't want to close the trade because you're in the trade already. And that doesn't make sense. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I was in this position. I understood that my idea was invalid, and then I still let it run instead of closing it and then going towards the real draw on liquidity, which was those equal highs, as you guys can see up there. And the reason why is because we were in a 4-hour gap, and then once we hit the 4-hour gap, we ended up sweeping liquidity of that 4-hour gap, moving higher, and then targeting those highs. And the move that I was in some profit, but I didn't close. What I should have done was actually, once I was already in that move, and I did notice the sweep of liquidity down here, and I knew that we were gonna end up going up for those highs because ES was ripping. That move at 10 ended up coming down, and I was like, okay, then my trade idea is right, and I thought I was correct. But no, we came down, or I should have for sure closed this trade here because I understood this, entered a long there, and then targeted the buy side liquidity, and then just been done with it. But you live and you learn, so I had to watch all this, and then it came back up, so I closed it right before it took me out, and then I understood why this idea was wrong. But it was extremely clear that we ended up swooping turtle soup that low in a 4-hour gap, bullish, fake SMT. What can I do? Either way, I understand it now. The next week, I don't know how it's gonna play out. I do want to see some type of consolidation just because we expanded so much this week. So I want to see some type of, move up and down, and then setting that up for the next week after that. But that's basically all that I have to say. Really, there's nothing else. This was the week that I ended up having. I ended up having a couple good winning trades, but I missed out on the best trade. I missed out on what was supposed to be my best trade ever, honestly. And I had the correct analysis. I had a perfect analysis at this point, but the execution was a little messed up, and that comes from experience. And I guarantee you that I'm gonna get better at reading this and being able to execute better on that because of just the new way that I've been journaling. And I'll express that to the people in my Discord if they so like me to, or if they would like me to. But yeah, just understanding this and understanding time. When I say time is very important, time is the most important part in trading. I'll leave that to you, for you guys to figure it out. But this was the trading week I had. I'm glad to be back. I'm gonna be in Florida next week. This will probably be the last full video that you see. I'm gonna try to have a bunch of clips ready for Florida. I'm only gonna be in Florida for 4 days, but the next video might come out a little bit late just because I am in Florida. But apart from that, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you hit up Techtronix.com and use my discount for 10% off. Make sure you join the Discord because I'm gonna start talking about this stuff, and you're just gonna become a way better trader. Either way, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.